We'll start with a roll call. If we could start down the end with Commissioner Libreo Judge.
Maria Libreo Judge.
Stacy Moore.
Jillian Maynard.
Kevin Tuttle.
And Chair, Commissioner Tom Koskar.
Vice Chair, Commissioner Rebecca Markowitz.
Ron Cox.
All right, so we have a quorum. We have 7 commissioners here tonight. And for the record, if you do want to speak, you can, I think you got to push your button on your end to make your button green to make it live. So just so we actually, for those folks listening at home, which we know there's many, they can actually hear us. Next on the agenda, we have any appointments or resignations. Are we aware of any appointments or resignations? Okay, hearing none. On to the next agenda item, approval of minutes. We have minutes from the meeting for Wednesday, August 31st, 2022. I'll entertain a motion to accept those minutes. You should have all gotten these via email.
Motion to accept the minutes.
I guess second by Commissioner Cox. Any questions, comments, edits on the minutes? All good. All right, hearing no conversation, all in favor? Aye.
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 Against? I forgot the word. I was like against or nay. Against? Abstentions? Was there any abstentions for people absent? We'll have Maria Libreo Judge abstain, right, since you were absent from that meeting?
Yeah, I think was I? I didn't read.
I'm just,
Sorry.
yeah, reading the minutes,
I
yeah.
think I wasn't here.
Yeah, there you
Yes,
go.
I will abstain.
Okay, awesome, thanks. Just to make it official, right? All right, thank you very much.
That's why it felt so long.
And next is my report. So I have a few things to report tonight, and I think most of the commissioners are aware of these different things, but want to make the full commission aware of it, also make the public aware. So we had a presence at the Fall Fest on October 15th. We had a presence at the Fall Fest, so thanks to all commissioners who were able to come out. Some came out and sat at the table in the tent during that time, and some came out to visit us with family and stuff, so it was great to see everyone there. I think it was a great event. I was really happy that we had a space at the Fall Fest. Again, getting our name out there in the public. You know, a number of the folks that came up to the tent, we had a sign up, you know, saying our name. They came up and they were like, oh, who are you guys? What's this all about, right? So I think it's just another way as we look out to include as much of the community as we can. It's just one more way to do that. So I appreciate those folks who came out that day and helped out. We did have the nice signs that you guys have seen, that we had like these inclusion signs where you could sign your name if you agreed with inclusion and you practice inclusion in your life. So that was a way to engage them. It ended up engaging a lot of youth. So we had a lot of kids, younger kids coming up and wanting to sign the board. So I think it worked out really well. And while they came up, we also kind of reeled in the parents a little bit and had a conversation with them as well. So I think it worked out really well. Those posters, so to speak, are on display down at the front entrance of the town hall. If you didn't come in that way, they're on display down there, because which I'll report on in a minute. When I reported to the town council, Mayor Murata had asked for those signs. We brought them to that meeting, and she asked for those signs if they could display them. So they'll stay on display down there a little while, and those are nice and colorful. And I'll give a shout out to my daughter, so she'll be happy I gave her a shout out, because she helped design those and create those and make them all colorful and fancy. So appreciate that to Madeline. So yeah, the Fall Fest was great. Anybody who was there, comments, thoughts on folks that were there at the Fall Fest?
I thought it was interesting how many people came in. We didn't actually have to go step outside of our area. They all just walked in and asked about it, which I've been at a lot of festivals for a lot of reasons, and that often doesn't happen. So this community was great. Come out and really want to hear about what this little space that we took up in their festival was.
Awesome, thank you. I appreciate hearing that, and it's funny because I wasn't at the tent the whole time. I was at it for a little stretch of time, and we were kind of in the corner, right? We had this like spot number 1 down at the corner at the end for those that weren't there. And I was a little worried, like, oh man, we're down in the corner, we're not going to get much traffic, you know. But I think people appreciated the kind of the neutrality of who we are and our mission, right? Just seeing that the words Commission on Inclusion out there kind of drew people in.
Absolutely.
Other thoughts, Aparna?
Yes, absolutely. And I think, like, you know, it also brought in awareness, right? It's kind of surprises that, I mean, there has been things in the past that, you know, we really don't connect in terms of, like, you know, what exists and what does not, like, you know, within the town. And I think that is one of those where you see, like, you know, people's reaction when they see it and like, oh, do we have a commission like that? What's this about? Like, you know, kind of generates a curiosity and interest to know, like, you know, what this is all about. And they want, a lot of people, like, you know, wanted to know, like, you know, what we do and, you know, what was the purpose and mission for the commission.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think we had the nice flyers that we had created, that the Community Conversations Committee created. We had those to pass out, and we handed those out to a number of people. We created a little sign-up list, so we actually had a number of people sign their names to either wanting updates or wanting to volunteer. So another thing that we'll be working on, again, a little piece of my report, is we're working on kind of a form. I'll say application is a loosely use that word, but a way to kind of, if people are interested in volunteering in some fashion for the commission in a semi-formal way, right? So I encourage people, if you're listening in the public, you know, you can go to our website, you can email the commission email. If you're interested in volunteering, we can get you that form, which we're not quite finished yet, but we're close. And so we've had a number of people at that event say, hey, I want to help out, I want to be part of it. What kinds of things are you doing? And of course, we spoke about the Walk a Mile in My Shoes, and they wanted to participate in that sort of thing. And it was like, wow, that sounds really great. And they want to participate. So I think, again, getting the word out there to the community, also getting other members of the community who want to participate and help out and be part of the commission. So I think it was great. This is the Commission on Inclusion and Innovation. There we go. Thank you. Let's see what else. So that's a little bit from the Fall Fest. Also, there have been a few people who've reached out to us directly, either by calling the office, you know, here at the town hall, or by emailing the commission email, who literally searched Rocky Hill and said, hey, is there anything on inclusion in Rocky Hill? And our commission came up, and they contacted us and said, hey, I want to help out. So we're in the process of talking with a couple folks who just really want to help out, want to volunteer. So I think we're going to have some folks that are participating in the work that we do and helping out. Because as we say, many hands make light work. So the extra help, of course, will be appreciated. So again, if you're out there in the community and want to help out or participate in any way, as we're doing our planning of events, obviously at the events, but we do need that work done on the planning of those events as well. Anything to add on that? I don't think. Next thing is, so I did report to town council. It was not last Monday, like 2 days ago, like the week before that, whatever that date was. So Commissioner Markowitz and I went to the town council meeting, just kind of gave an update, and it was very well received. I think the councilors were very happy to hear from us. They had a lot of enthusiasm for the work that we have done, for some of the ideas that we have, you know, coming down the pike. They're excited. They're really excited to see this commission doing some work. You know, they called us the Fun Commission, you know, at one point. I can't remember who it was, but one of the town councilors called us, ooh, you can be the Fun Commission. And, of course, they're going to call me out because we have no public here today, because I told them we draw more public than the town council. I called them out, and now they called me. I lose because we have zero. So please come out if you're watching. Come out to our meeting next time. But no, I think it was very well received by the town council. They're excited to hear updates from us. Had some ideas of their own. So they kind of supplied some ideas, which we'll kind of talk about at our next community conversations meeting. Some of the thoughts they had on how to engage a community and whatnot. And they were also very happy. I think it's important to point out the nonpartisan nature of our commission. Right, and it's something we've talked about before as a commission, and I just thought it relevant to bring it up here again, that we're nonpartisan, right? We're including all, and we're living by that, right, across, no matter what the situation is. So I think it's important. They appreciated that. There's very few groups in town that are that way. And, again, commissioners on both sides of the political spectrum, appreciate that. So I thought that was worthy of mentioning.
A point
Camille,
of
go ahead.
clarification, that
Please.
meeting was held on October 17th.
October 17th, thank you very much. And yes, and it was, I think they gave me 10 minutes, I took 10 minutes, then they asked questions, and then I talked forever. Because once they asked questions, the time was wide open, and then I
Like
talked
30
a bunch.
minutes.
What's that?
It was like 30 minutes.
It was like 30 minutes by the time we got done. It was quite some time. But
who was
they opened the
counting?
door. They opened the door for me. They asked questions. But no, it was great because I think they did. It was nice to engage with them, with the town councilors and stuff. They are, again, when I say, I think they are all in on the work we're doing. They really are. And I think we have their support, which is important, which we know we have their support because they formed us, but I think we have their support. And as we move forward on doing this work, I think it's really important. Let's see what else. Another small item is that and I guess I'll report on this quick because I did speak with him. A community member had offered to help us out creating a logo. So I'm kind of working with him. I say working very loosely, but just connecting with him. We talked about it on the Community Conversations Committee a while back, and I reconnected with him, asking him to kind of come up with a draft of a logo for us, just so we have something. It's going to be really a combination of our name and the town logo. So nothing crazy fancy, just that RH with the kind of waves or thing that looks like the river thing running through it. Yeah. Yeah, not even that one. There's another one that they use.
a new
That's
one.
a good thought. This is one with the ship, but there's a new one that they use just like on their website and stuff. It's just got like
on the YouTube channel that's being streamed on right now.
right. It's got the little like river wave thing. But anyway, so he's going to combine that with our name, basically something very simple, so that we can have that, and we'll get it approved by all the important people that we need to get it approved by at the town to make sure it's all done right. That is all I have from the commissioner's report. Any questions? I got nothing but smiles and noddings of heads. That's good stuff. All right, so next we'll move on to subcommittee reports. First, we have the Community Conversations Committee. Adora is out today. Do I have a report from someone? All right, Rebecca?
Hi, yeah, so no big report. Just wanted to say that the next meeting will be November 9th in the elevator room at 6 p.m. So public are invited to come. And do we have public comment for that?
I believe so.
Yeah, and share their thoughts. So November 9th,
Time.
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Thank you.
All right, excellent. You guys, we have not met. The committee has not met since our last meeting, right?
That is correct.
All right, thank you. Data Gathering, Research, and Analysis Subcommittee. Commissioner Tuttle.
Sure, thank you. So just as a refresher, one of our duties as a commission is to utilize fact-based, data-driven methods to gather accurate information. And so to that end, and I've spoken to our efforts on this point previously, but to that end, we've created our first sort of inaugural survey for the town. It took us a while to sort of fine-tune the questions and the content within the survey, but we've reached that end. So thank you to the other subcommittee members for the assistance. Thank you to other commissioners who have provided their input and feedback to get us to that point. And so now we're just sort of tinkering with the look and feel of the survey so that we can sort of optimize, adoption and participation, et cetera. Right now it's in sort of, I wouldn't say an antiquated form, but one that we feel can probably be improved in terms of the aesthetics. So the goal is to finish it within the week. And then it's just a matter of kind of discussing and finalizing the distribution methods that we want to land on. One thing we did learn from Fall Fest, I think, is I printed out a number of paper copies of the survey, and that probably wasn't the best forum, but people aren't keen on, filling out a 10-page survey, especially when they're at a Fall Fest enjoying activities and socializing and having fun. So that was a miss on my part for sure, but we still want to keep some paper copies options for folks who may not be as electronically based as the average person, but we think we'll move to a more electronic-based distribution method, be it via email or posted on our website, something to that effect, and we can tackle it a couple of different ways, I think, with the end goal of getting as much feedback and responses as possible. And so the survey sort of set up to aggregate the information as it comes in. So hopefully over time, we'll see responses grow and get more and more sort of direction in terms of, where this commission should be focused, what topics are important to the community, and that's really the end goal of the survey. So again, we're done, pencils down, if you will, on the questions and just fine-tuning the look and feel. So hopeful to have that out, certainly by next commission meeting, in terms of being able to promote where the folks can find it, how they might receive it, et cetera.
So
Any-
do you want to also talk about, the feedback on the survey? We had a couple of people fill out the survey, right? And they were
Yeah.
okay with those questions and everything, correct?
Yeah. The few people that actually did to their credit, kind of walked around the Fall Fest and did it, and came back, circled back to the tent and provided it back to us. And so the initial feedback was, all the questions they felt were appropriate and kind of in line with what they thought the commission should be working on. And so it'll be nice to see as results sort of pour in where folks are pointing us to focus more on. And hopefully it'll also serve as sort of an additional promotion or awareness point for us, Ideally, as Tom said, at the Fall Fest, you had a lot of folks saying, well, tell us about yourselves. Who are you as a commission? Ideally, at some point, when they see the survey, they'll recognize us immediately and say, oh, I understand what their goal is, what the point of this is, and that may even increase participation in surveys to that extent too. So hopefully it's sort of dual purpose in terms of awareness and gathering the data that we're sort of priding this commission on following. Any questions on the subcommittee?
All right, I have a couple quick questions. I always have some questions about
Sure.
stuff. As far as, and this is, part of this is just for the benefit of the people listening possibly,
Yeah.
is as far as distribution and getting the word out there, I know one of our goals is to really reach the people who aren't always reached in Rocky Hill. And I know some of that work is ongoing on, like, as you mentioned, what that distribution is going to be, how we're going to hear from as many corners of the community and many folks in the community as we can. Can you share anything yet as far as some different ideas besides the traditional, post on our website and stuff? Have you guys talked about that yet, or is that still in process? Because I know that's something that you spoke about before, like we want to.
Yeah, I mean, we sort of view the Community Conversation Subcommittee as a nice way to sort of infiltrate, if you will, probably a negative connotation to that word, but infiltrate the community in terms of getting that survey out there. We'll lean on that subcommittee in terms of making the connections with some of the community organizations that, the data committee doesn't have that type of relationship with yet. And so that would probably be a great way to get to those folks who might otherwise ignore a survey or ignore an email. And, if it's sort of, as I call, a warm transfer, if the community conversations team can kind of tee it up and explain it a little bit, I think we're more apt to get honest feedback and responses in that manner. So we'll lean on the Community Conversations Subcommittee as well to sort of gather that feedback. But, the few methodologies I mentioned, I'm hopeful that the website or our page on the town site, if we can direct folks to there and they see it and click it and take the 10 minutes or so it'll take to fill it out, I'm hopeful that will be helpful in terms of getting a lot of participation. The email piece, we'll have to figure out, how to get the most kind of touch points to people, email addresses, et cetera. I haven't worked through that much. But any other?
I was just going to say that I think one of the things we could also consider is, and we had mentioned this when we were together, is, like a library through the churches, through different communities, schools, and once they see the survey and they kind of understand it as well, I don't think they will have issue with posting the link or, informing others. So I think there's a way to do this. We just have to get it to the next level to show, and then we'll go on.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. And, the other thing that we were talking about something else as the QR code as a way to,
Yeah.
again, make it easy. Will it be like a cell phone or iPhone, smartphone accessible as well, I'm
Yes.
assuming?
Yeah.
Right, so you'd be able to, at some point on a flyer, on a something somewhere, you have the QR and they just doot, doot, and next
Yep.
thing you know, they're into it.
Yep.
Yeah, so the current format, you can fill it out on your cell phone.
Okay, good.
And,
Awesome.
click through, but again, we think that we can probably even simplify it more from the format that it sits in today, so.
And just as a reminder also to folks listening, you're working with Sonic
Yes,
Group. You
so
want
the
to just
Sonic Group is
highlight that
sort
again
of,
real quick?
yeah, absolutely. I should give them a shout out every
Every
meeting.
day.
But, yeah, but they've been helpful in terms of guiding us through the process. And, they have a lot of expertise in data science, if you will, and how to ask the right questions, et cetera. So we're going to lean on them as well in terms of making sure. And, I foresee this as being an evolution, if you will. We'll see as we can maybe narrow in on some of the feedback that we get. We can follow up with additional surveys or find ways to get a little deeper into the topics that we're asking about. So hopefully it's just step one of many steps towards getting a real feel for the commission's priorities and focus.
You got it, Commissioner Maynard?
Yeah, so you said you wanted to have some physical copies as well. So if people fill it out in written forms, then it's just a matter of someone will be entering it into the...
Data entry.
Okay, all that fun stuff. All right.
Yeah.
Commissioner Liberty Judge?
So I first want to let the public know, when we talk about bipartisan, it is unlike any other commission most people would have ever thought of or sat on. For my thoughts, and you guys can all attest to this, not once have I ever been asked what my political affiliation was, and nor have I asked anybody else. From where I sit, I don't know, but no one has. We all come to this truly trying to figure out how to make things work for as many people in town as we possibly can. And nothing's obviously uninformed. If people don't come and talk to us so that we can understand, we may not realize what their needs are. Like, I can guess on some stuff, but we can't guess on everything. That said, and I don't know if it's appropriate or if it's even legal, but we have an election. We do have one coming. If we had that QR, is there a way to have that somewhere or no?
We're not there yet.
Oh, you're not there yet. Sorry. Okay. Well,
It's a little too soon.
Can't you make that all happen before then? No.
Not quite there
Not quite there. Okay. I just didn't know if we were, but if we were even ever allowed to.
Yeah. But
to do
your
something
point,
like
I
that.
think your point being that the places that we know
Yeah.
public are going to be coming,
Yeah.
Fall Fest being an example,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
other events, and
Yeah.
we can certainly connect, I think, whoever said it, one of the commissioners, the other, whether it's library, whether it's the events they're
Absolutely.
holding, whether it's things happening at the community center, we can certainly reach out to the senior groups, we can reach out to the different church groups and the different community groups, and there's many that we're making connections with, right?
Right.
And our community conversations committee is making connections with those
Thank
groups.
you.
So I think all of those places,
Sorry, Stacey.
yeah, election's a little soon, right? You can get your
I
cookies.
figured
you
it
can get
would,
your-
but I just thought I'd ask.
Shocking to realize November is...
It's right around the
week.
corner.
Yeah.
It's right around the corner. But yeah, again, was there any other questions? Because I know the more we talk, the more questions we have, which is great. Putting Commissioner Tuttle on the spot. Any other questions, thoughts, comments? Again, I know it's a work in progress and appreciate the work you guys are doing. I think we're making great progress. And I think it's one piece of the puzzle. I think you mentioned, Commissioner Tuttle, it's one piece of what we're trying to do to get the input of the community, right? Whether it's coming to meetings and giving public comment, whether it's coming to see us at the Walk a Mile in Your Shoes or the Fall Fest or wherever we are, this will be another way to reach people and to hear from them. So we're looking to hear from you. All right. Any other updates from the committee? Not that you need any more, because that was a lot of stuff you guys been doing. And yes, just shout out, you guys are meeting like weekly or bi-weekly. You guys are meeting quite a bit and hitting it hard, so I appreciate that. Okay, moving on. Consent agenda. I don't think we have anything on the consent agenda tonight, so that is a pass. Old business. There's nothing on the agenda for old business. We do have one item on the agenda for new business, which is our meeting dates for 2023. Those were also distributed to you all. Really, what I'll say is this is kind of a first read of them. You have them in front of you. We don't necessarily need to vote on them tonight. We could if we wanted to, but we don't need to vote on them tonight. I'll say we can kind of just put them out there. Was that the plan, Or do you want?
If you guys are ready to vote, you're more
Okay,
than welcome.
so I guess I'll open it up for discussion. Well, I guess we'll do it this way, we'll do it all official. I'll entertain a motion to accept these meeting dates that have been forwarded to you for our 2023 meeting dates. I'll entertain a motion to accept those.
Motion to accept.
In a second?
Second.
Okay, you got that. Okay, now discussion. Any discussion on the dates? Any issues, questions? These are basically, I think it was according to one of our first meetings or things, we'll meet every other month in the last Wednesday of the month. And we did check these dates to make sure that they didn't conflict with holidays and stuff, and that's a good part about Wednesdays. The only one that's a little tricky is the last one, because it's right a couple days after Christmas, so that's a little tricky. The one before that would be the 20th, so we could adjust it for that one if people wanted to. That's the only point that I had on them. Other than that, it did kind of skip over summer for the most part, so it's kind of nice. You had that late June, which is just before, or just after school ends and stuff, so you're kind of not too deep into vacation times yet, and then it's late August, which is like you're getting ready for school again. So the dates seem pretty good. There's only one in the winter, which is nice, so we don't have to deal with traveling in the snow too much, just one of them, hopefully. Although we should have on there a snow date for that one, actually, come to think of it, so possibly maybe the Wednesday after that, could we have as a snow date listed? That's one thought that I just had. The 22nd would be the 29th, which is not a leap year, is it? I don't know if it's leap year. If it's not a leap year, it'll be March 1st, huh?
Just as a note, that would go into 2024 at that point.
No, I'm talking about the February
Oh, the February
2023 one.
22nd, okay.
Just because of the winter ones. No, I was thinking the February one, just because of the winter ones, it's nice if there's a snow date or a storm, it's nice to have a planned snow date one. So whether it's March 1st or February 29th, whatever it is.
Tom, may I point out that?
It is March 1st.
I'm sorry.
Please, go.
I just want to
Commissioner
point
Cox.
out that is Ash Wednesday,
Which one?
22nd of February.
22nd, okay.
Just to be aware of it.
Yeah, no, that's great. So that's why we're having this discussion now. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
if we roll that back to the 15th in that particular month is one thought there. And again, we could skip over Ash Wednesday and have the snow day to be March 1st. Again, this is the point of this conversation. Are there any other tricky ones? And again, the December one, we could roll it back to the 20th. Again, this is just conversation, just to be before, although I don't know how good before is. The holidays is even compared to after. I don't know. Neither is really great. I think that time of year, it's a little tricky. Commissioner Cox.
Are we looking at the first possibility as a possibility?
Of March, you mean?
Yeah.
I was going to do that as a snow date.
Okay, because that's the first day of Women's History Month. That would be a fabulous
Oh, wow,
day.
okay, yeah.
I just
There you
think that
go.
would be a
Sure.
fabulous day
Wow.
Sure.
to have a meeting.
Yeah, if we start listing out
Every
the months, yeah, there's a good month for. Any other dates or thoughts? Is there thoughts on the December one, 27th or 20th? Do people have a feeling one way or the other on that? I'm like on the fence. I'm like,
Probably the
20th.
27th is, oh, really?
Yeah.
what'd you say? 20th, you said 27th. I was leaning
Yeah,
towards
I
the
think we should
27th
move it.
personally, and then I was like, because like the week before, I'm like
No
wrapping
matter
presents and
what,
everything.
it's not
I know it's a
gonna be
nightmare.
Ideal, so.
I think my wife's going to complain no matter what date that is. Why are you having a meeting in December?
Nothing affects me.
I know.
Well, we have a meeting this December as well.
That's true.
Yes, we do. What is
You
our?
would probably want to check the calendar if Hanukkah is right around that time. Okay.
It's no, yeah, it's not. Right.
What is our December one this time? Actually,
28th.
it's our 28th, right? So we'll see how it goes this year. All right, that one's set up. So, so it's 12/28. That's our next meeting. 12/28, 22
Yeah.
is like the
Why did we do
laughing emoji. All right, I got the laughing emoji for that one.
So we need to,
So, well, again, we can make an amendment to the motion
Okay.
with other new dates if someone wants to, which the notes I have are to move the February 22nd to the 15th with a March 1st as a snow. And then, again, I had both sides of the 27th or the 20th, so you guys can weigh in as much as you want. Any other thoughts on that? So.
I would prefer the 27th, but I understand that might not be ideal for
Yeah.
others celebrating holidays or being
Yeah.
with family.
So, because for me, it doesn't really affect me. So I would say maybe we just take a vote on what's better.
So, yeah, so the way it'll work is you can, if someone wants, just to be all official with Robert's rules, you would amend the motion. So the motion was to accept these dates. So if someone wants to make an amendment to the motion with these new dates, whichever ones you want to change, second, blah, 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 conversation, we vote on that, and then
We gotta pick 20th or 27th.
someone has to, whoever makes a motion can pick that. That's my point. Yeah, whoever makes a motion can choose that, and then the discussion will ensue, if that makes sense.
And you just go through the dates again. as
Yes,
you
so it
have.
would be Wednesday, February 15th. Wednesday, February 15th, with a snow date of Wednesday, March 1st. The second meeting would be Wednesday, they're all Wednesdays, April 26th. The third one is June 28th. Fourth one is August 30th. The next one is October 25th. And the last one is December 27th.
I make a motion that we accept the alterations that have been suggested.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
Okay, any discussion on that one? Did we
We're good.
hammer it out good enough? Okay, all in favor of the amended motion?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. The motion passes. There we go. We have our new dates. Camille, I'm sure, is taking notes and have those down. Thank you. Well, it's important, too, that we get these, again, as we want to, we'll post these on the website and stuff for the public to know when we're meeting and stuff, and you can put it in your calendars. I know you're all scrambling to get to our meetings, so it's important that you have those in front of you.
Take a deep
we're going to get people here.
Yes.
Incidentally, I had invited folks here from the Fall Fest. I actually emailed the folks that had given us their emails. And I don't know if some gave me fake ones or not because they bounced back to me, but which I was laughing about. But so I invited folks and no one showed up.
But it was handwritten too.
It was handwritten. It was really tough. I know. Hence the reason we need to have like the iPad at the Fall Fest so people can type it in and confirm it and stuff like that. All right, so this is gonna be in record time, but there is no public here. So public comment. Anyone have public comment? Is there anyone on the phone that's phoning in? Again, I'll just say, if you do have input you want to share with the commission, again, come to our meeting. Again, we have a website.
Please.
And we have a website, and you can email us as well. So we appreciate that. Hearing nothing else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
A second?
I second.
And all in favor? All right, meeting adjourned.
You didn't even have to leave her.
How about that?
That worked out great.